And so the first way to eradicate pricing and to position yourself as higher, more premium, is to be able to understand their problem and their pains and be able to articulate that. Let's dive into today, and what we're going to have a look at is we're going to have a look at back to the drawing board, which is the 5 problems that you face with conversion. So if you're watching this, what I want you to do is I want you to grab a pen, I want you to grab a paper, and we're going to be talking about the 5 problems that you currently have with conversion and why you cannot turn attention into desire. What I did to turn attention to desire and what it is that you ultimately need to do if you are going to convert somebody's mindset to go, you know what? Holy shit, I've seen your stuff. I saw your stuff, Jack. I thought you were average at the start. I couldn't see the difference between you and everyone else, but like, holy crap, it is like night and day and I want to work with you. Okay, it is night and day and I want to work with you. So what I want you to do, guys, get a pen out. Guys and girls, get a pen, get ready to jot this down. We're going to go through this very, very in-depthly, smoothly, and quickly. All right, problem number 1. The reasons why you cannot turn attention into desire is because you are unclear about the problem your prospective client presents with and the depth of pain this problem causes your prospective client. Now, this goes on and continues on from week number 1, but this actually goes in depth more. Your ability to communicate this problem to your prospective client now is important, because if you can communicate this message to them and go, hey, here is the exact problem that you're presenting with, and here's the result of all of the pain that this causes inside of your life because you have this problem. Being a specialist of something requires you to understand the problem that they present with. If you go to a doctor and he's able and he sees this spot on you, and this is a specialist, right? This is a fucking specialist, and you've been to 5 other doctors and they've gone, okay, well, you might have this, you might have that, or you might have this other thing, you might have AIDS, I'm not too sure. It could be anything. We need to do blood tests. And then you see this other doctor and you see this specialist and he's like, oh my God, Lynn, that red dot on your arm, I know the exact problem that you're facing. It's a rare condition that this red dot has, and not a lot of doctors know about it. But let me tell you your symptoms that you're facing right now. Is this true inside of your life? The fact that you have this problem, this is this red dot, do you get headaches at approximately 8:30 at night? Like they're throbbing pains inside of your head right now that are uncontrollable. All right, brilliant. Do you wake up at about 4:35 in the morning, really, really thirsty, like your throat gets dry, and you wake up all of a sudden in the middle of the night? Do you have trouble peeing consistently? Like you wake up, sometimes you'll pee a lot, sometimes you'll pee a little bit. And your ability to articulate somebody's problem and specifically their pain as a result of that problem positions you as the expert. It positions you as the expert, and it positions you of a place of authority because you completely understand where they're at. You completely understand the obstacles, the pain, the stories, and you can paint a picture of their life. Now I can go to every other doctor and guess what they say? I'm not too sure. This could be this could be that. We need a blood test to check it out. I'm not too sure. So when you get specific with the problem and you can actually talk about the exact symptoms, the exact scenarios, you can get specific with it. What tends to happen is inside of their mind, I start to go, oh my God, yeah, that's it. Holy shit, like how did you know? It places the doctor, the specialist, in an authority frame. The more you're able to probe in somebody's problem and pain puts you as an expert to be able to solve that particular problem in such a way that people need certainty in today's day and age. The reasons why they need certainty is so many people have tried so many things, and yet they've still failed to achieve the result. So the skepticism inside of somebody's mind is, well, what's going to be different about this time? I've tried other doctors. You're probably just the same as every other doctor that's going to tell me to do a blood test. Yet if you come in and tell me and paint the problem and paint the pain and paint my life and paint my symptoms, and you illustrate it and articulate it directly to me, you immediately get the authority frame that allows me to listen. And because you now get my attention, you are now beginning to build trust. You are now beginning to build authority. You are now beginning to build frame control. In my mind, I'm like, you get me. And because you understand me, it means you must have the antidote. There's this presupposition that if you understand what's wrong with me, there's this presupposition that you have the answer. Like this presupposition and this assumption that you make that if I really truly understand you, then I've got the keys to the possibility that you want. And if I can articulate that pain and that problem and that fear, then you immediately default to going, I'm going to work with Lynn because I don't have to deal with everybody else. I save time. He's got the antidote. I save time. He's got the antidote. And that creates that desire, and it immediately rubs out what? Pricing. You step away from being a commodity now and you go, okay, well, here's what it's going to cost for you to actually solve this problem. You can go elsewhere. You can try to listen to the other doctors, but if you want my solution, here it is. And so the first way to eradicate pricing and to position yourself as higher, more premium, is to be able to understand their problem and their pains and be able to articulate that, which is why inside of week number 1, you communicated this. Inside of week number 1, you were practicing this. If you do not practice this, here's what begins to happen. You can get attention, but because you can't practice the communication of the problem and the pain, guess what happens? There is no desire to see you as any different. You're essentially the same as everybody else. What I want you to do is write down inside of your journal or your paper right now, write down, are you clear about the problem with your prospective client that presents and the depth of pain? Because if you're not clear, here's what happens. When you get to the conversation of closing for commitment and you are charging premium because you are delivering a high-end service with high-end commitment, your prospective clients are going to be like, thank you very much, but you're too expensive for me and I'll go somewhere else. I'll go somewhere else. This is the first problem that you face. The second problem that you face here inside of the marketplace is that your prospective clients are unclear about where you are taking them, what the result is, how long it will take to get them there, or what they need to do to get to the possibility. So remember what I talked about. I pre-framed this conversation as this. I said, most people, including yourself, remember what I said? This is crazy. Most people are shackled by their past. They're chained down by their past. They have this past that they're completely chained down towards. It's like anchored in the ground and it's going to stop. It's like this. It's like, oh my God, I've tried that before. I'm not going to succeed. Oh my God, this is kind of like the same thing. Oh my God, what's different? Oh my God, like this is the 10th time I've tried to go to the gym this year. I actually can't work. Oh my God, this is like the 5th coach that I've hired. This isn't going to work for me. They're anchored and they live in the past with their stories, right? And so at the same time, there's the future. There's the future, which is you're painting the future of where they could be, like the smiley face right here. But at the same time, the future's uncertain. What the pain does, what this does right now, is this creates urgency. Inside of problem number 1, what you do create is you create urgency. You go, oh my God, okay, cool, whatever. I don't care that I've tried this shit. I'm going to break these chains and I'm going to break through. I don't care, but I really need to go again. I really need to fucking go because my life is not working. And if I don't do anything about this, shit, my life is really going to go down the hill. The pain, the problem and the pain allows you to get rid of their stories in the past. I want you to write that down. The problem and the pain allows you to get rid of their stories in the past. It allows you to break free from these anchors that they might have that stops them from moving forward. That was problem number 1. But inside of problem number 2, here's what you face. You face the future, which is completely uncertain and completely unknown. And a lot of the times what happens is this. People will not run into the unknown. People will not run into the dark. People will not run into the forest. People are afraid of this because there is fear. And I want you to consider this, that some prisons are built inside a secluded forest simply because of this reason. They know that being in the prison is safe, even though it fucking sucks. They kind of anchored down in the prison, but the fear of not knowing what's on the other side of the prison, inside of the forest, that's scary as fuck. Like, I could get eaten by a bear, I could get eaten by a lion, I could get even stung by a snake, and there's fucking crocodiles. Who knows? There are fucking like traps all over the place. There is so much fear of the uncertainty that they would not escape, and it's a psychological measure that keeps them stuck there. So, what must you do if we're talking about this game of conversion? Inside of problem number 2, here's the thing that you and I must look at, is getting them completely clear on this. Providing them with clarity on the result, the exact tangible result that they're going to see, and then showing them the path of how they can actually get them there, which is what we covered last week inside of the path. Now, the reality is this. The stuff that you're talking about isn't converting. Why? Because most people that listen to your stuff are still anchored in the past. And so talking about the pain and the problems of their current life allows them to go, holy shit, I will break out of this. Let's destroy those chains. I'm ready to move. But at the same time, if the possibility, the opportunity, if the future that you're presenting isn't clear with a result, it isn't clear of how do I get there? It isn't clear with the time frame of how long it will take. Guess what begins to happen? You create an uncertainty. And with uncertainty comes with what? Inaction, comes with fear, it comes with I'm not sure. So your ability when it comes to conversion, anything, any video that you say, anything that you present through a sales letter that you begin to type out must embody the problem that they're facing, must embody the pain as a result of that problem to create that connection, to create that movement, to destroy the shackles that they have inside of the past. But at the same time, you must paint the possibility clearly of what they're going to get, how they're going to get there, and how long it's actually going to take for them. So what I want you to do now is I want you to sit down and write on your journal right now, thinking and pulling back all the information of week number 1. Are you clear? Are you clear on where the problem is? Are you clear on where the pain is? Are you clear of the stories that you need to begin to tell in order to create that desire to move, to break the shackles of their past beliefs? The shackles are, I've hired another coach, Jack, before. I've seen 5 of these online coaches. Oh my God, I've joined Kayla Ritz's science program. I still haven't gotten the results. And I tried Weight Watchers and I tried Light and Easy and nothing seems to work for me. And then I use the pain and I go, okay, well, that's cool. So if nothing seems to work for you, then you're ultimately fucked. And if you're not willing to change right now, here's what's going to happen inside of your life in a few years, right? So they've got all of these stories that are anchoring them. They've got all of these stories and all of these beliefs and all of this whole, I've tried to do some shit. And the whole point of problem and pain is to be able to reduce the anchors from their past in order to create urgency to move. But you will not ultimately get them to move if you just paint the problem and the pain. You must present a clear future for them, showing them what they're going to get, laying down the path, how it's going to get there, how long it's going to take for them. What I want you to do is write down your revelations just from these 2 problems that you've had and we've identified that you may have not had inside of your conversion conversation. I want you to write this down on paper. I want you to write this down when it comes to converting your ideal client to becoming a client to create desire. Okay? So remember what I talked about. This is you yourself, that most people do not live in the now. They live in the past and they worry about the future, which means they never get anywhere. So as we begin to move on, we talked about problem number 1. We're into problem number 2. But here is the very big kicker. Here's the biggest reason why most will not go. Problem number 3. You fail to build trust or expert authority due to the lack of conviction and certainty that you have in delivering value to your prospective clients such that they get the aha moments. Such that they get the aha moments. This is the biggest problem that you have, because if you understand what I just spoke about here, and we're going to go back to this drawing board, I'm going to keep drawing this up so that you get it. There's going to be some aha moments. There are anchors in the ground right now around the past. There is shit that they're worried about inside of the future. You'll free them from the past by talking and communicating about the pain and the problem. And they're like, okay, shit, I know I need a change. I know I need to move. So you've created movement inside of them. And at the same time, they're like, okay, cool. I want to go here. This is where I'm going to move to. I see how I'm going to get there. Here's the path. I see clearly how I'm going to fucking get there. How many of you guys can relate to this when I say, you know what it is that you need to do, but you still don't do it? You know what you need to fucking do, but you still don't do it. And inside of step number 3, when it comes to creating conversion and desire, it comes to a place of what? Complete and utter certainty. Complete and utter certainty. So a lot of people are like, cool, Lynn, I understand. I understand. Like, I know that this is the pain that I face if I don't actually take any action. So I'm willing to do some shit. All right, brilliant, Lynn. You've painted for me the future of where I want to go, and you've painted clearly on what it's going to look like, and you've shown me how, and you've shown me how and how long it's going to take to get there. I understand that. I like this. People will procrastinate, and people are looking for complete certainty. People are looking for complete certainty, and they will procrastinate if they do not have certainty. You will procrastinate if you are not certain. You will procrastinate on something if you do not believe it. If you do not have a plan, if you are not certain with what you are doing today, you and I will procrastinate. Like literally, you and I will, if you do not have a plan written down and you're like, I'm certain I'm doing this, I'm certain I'm doing that, I'm certain I'm doing this, I'm certain I'm doing that, you will actually fall into procrastination and do nothing. And so most people fall into the land of procrastination and they do nothing because you as the leader, you haven't illustrated and delivered certainty to go, you know what, this is the only fucking way. And if you run with me, this is it. We're going to make it. If you run with me, this is the shit that I'm going to teach you. And you guys are getting aha moments. And inside of this particular place, whenever I create aha moments for you, what I'm doing is I'm creating this frame. And the frame is this. I'm going to keep following him. I'm going to keep following him. I like what he says. It completely makes sense. I'm getting these aha moments. It makes sense. I believe in him. I am certain in him. I'm going to follow his leadership and I'm going to follow in the path that he has built. So I can get rid of your problems and I can get rid of your pain. I can paint the future. But if I do not instill certainty in you in the way that I'm delivering value, and this all comes down to week number 1 inside of the practice of you doing your reps. It's the difference between you looking good and you making somebody feel good. When you look good, I don't care how polished your videos are. I don't care how much you spend on editing, videography, makeup, all of that shit. But at the end of the day, if you want somebody to move, you have to make them feel compelled to move. It's here. You have to be able to transmit your energy, your certainty, in through the device that you're speaking through and actually captivate them at their hearts to create that aha moments, to create trust and certainty to move with you. From problem number 3, this is why most people don't convert, because when they speak, they do not speak with certainty. When they teach, they do not teach from a place of certainty. And so what begins to happen is you tell me about the pain, you tell me about the problem, you paint the possibility, you show me some stuff, and I go, I don't know if I can believe this guy. Like, I don't know. I'm not too sure if I can believe this girl. Like, yeah, you know what? Like, I've been tricked before. I've heard some nice stuff. This guy, like, I really want to do something, but I don't know if this is my guy. I don't know if this is my girl. How many of you guys are experiencing this or seeing this right now with you? That you can talk about the problem, you can talk about the pain, you can paint the path and you can paint the possibility, but at the end of the day, there is this instinct inside of you, this emotional gut feeling where you know, right, I've watched enough of him or her and I get it, and they're different, especially now inside of a crowded marketplace. How many of you guys understand this? That when you begin to look at other people, when you begin to observe them, that maybe you've entered my world, and I speak with such utter and conviction and certainty that when you begin to look at other people now and they speak, you're kind of like, there's just something about this, and it's your gut. It's not your mind. They present their videos better. They present their videos better. They spend a lot more time polishing the shit up. They talk about the problems. They've got the frameworks, but there is something inside of your mind that you go, wait, I'm not sure. Like, I just don't feel it. And it almost puts you off. It almost says, wait, I can't actually trust this person. How many of you guys watch and consume other content? And you're almost like put off because of what you've experienced here with me. Comment down below and see this for yourself. And so what we begin to create here is we create movement and certainty that this is the path. And when you can create that for your client, you create certainty that they must walk forward. So here's what you're going to recognize, that, look, there's plenty of people that are really ridiculously smart. There are plenty of people, and I've had plenty of mentors that are amazing. Ultimately, and there's plenty of people that can share with you information. The problem that you're seeking now is not information. The problem that you are facing right now is, how do you have the certainty to keep on fucking going? The problem that you want to solve is whose corner and who do you want to have your back to fucking go? That's what you are looking for. It's the same thing that your prospective clients are looking for inside of you. We don't have an information shortage. People selling information, like right now, how many of you guys watching this would like pay $3,000 to go to Digital Marketers Traffic and Conversion Summit today? Raise your hands if that's you. Like, you're like, oh, sweet, like 2020, they're going to teach you some amazing tactics around marketing, around advertising. You're like, you'll pay to actually fly there. You won't. The reasons why you won't is because you understand that information is a commodity. You're not looking to be taught. You're looking to be led. You're not looking to be taught. You're looking to be led. And so this comes inside of problem number 3. That right now inside of your conversion, you are missing this lack of expert authority due to the lack of conviction and certainty that you have in delivering value to your prospects to create these aha moments. Just recapping 1, 2, and 3. If you actually break this down, here's what it looks like. This is absolutely crazy, and this is what I want every single person to practice and see. This is it right here. Whatever I've drawn down for you here, I want you to draw this down on paper right now. The past creates beliefs that will anchor your prospective clients from taking action. The future is also uncertain because they've never been there. It's dark, it's cloudy. People don't want to run into the forest because they don't know what to expect. They're afraid. Some shit can happen. Inside, you might be able to lay down the path, but without certainty, without conviction from you, they go, thank you very much for the information, but without the conviction from the leader, I will not move. I do not have trust. I don't trust. What they're really saying is, I don't trust in me. What they're really saying to you, I don't trust me. I don't fucking trust me. I can't walk in the dark. I just don't trust me to figure it out. I will get scared. Like, if shit happens, I will go back. I don't trust me. And so you as a leader with conviction and certainty says, it doesn't matter if you trust you, come with me and I'll help you trust yourself. I will help you find yourself. I will build certainty inside of you. I have this inside of me that I know you want, and I want to give it to you. but there is work to do. And so we enter phase number and problem number 4, which is ultimately this. You fail to challenge your prospective clients into making a decision, ultimately showing them the roads of the 2 paths. At the 1%, we call this choosing the red pill or the blue pill. So, inside of conversion, coming to watch your video, you talked about the problem, you talked about the pain, you talked about the future, you showed them a clear path, it's all good. Like, they receive value, you have certainty. And they go, shit, I really want to do this with you. But in problem number 4, you fail to do this. You fail to get them into a decision-making process that allows them to see this. Right now, you've just learned some really cool shit. But there are 2 roads that lie ahead of you right now. There's one road where you choose to do nothing. This is the road I call the red pill. This is the road where you choose to do nothing. You choose to do the same thing you've always done, which is to consume, be hyped, smile, go, oh my God, I learned some shit, only to drift back into the same patterns that you've drifted back into, leading you back into a path of destruction where you ultimately get down to a path of pain, frustration. But initially, this is a more comfortable decision for you because this is what I like to call instant gratification. You can take the choice of instant gratification today, which is to do nothing, and that is to feel good. Like, I've shown you some shit today, but ultimately, you're choosing the path of the red pill, and this path leads to pain. Because just like anything that you've done before, you've consumed my information, you've come up, you've gone, thank you, Lynn, very much. You've gotten your dopamine hit, you feel excited, but in a week from now, guess what you'll begin to feel? You'll begin to feel lost again. In a month from now, what would this loss translate into? This loss will translate into triggers and problems and pain. And as a result, the pains that you're currently experiencing inside of your life, these will just begin to get worse. They actually won't get any better, and they actually won't stay still. Why? Because the same shit that's happening, the fights, the arguments, the self-destruction, the thoughts inside of your mind that you keep having, this shit gets worse over time. And not before long, you're going to end up like your grandparents or your parents that you said you grew up saying, I wish I'd never grow up to be just like them. And this is the path that everyone takes. Or ultimately, you have a choice today, and that is to come and commit and take action. This choice is very difficult. This choice requires you to get uncomfortable and break out from this. To break out from this scenario, this choice requires courage, and it requires a commitment from you. But this choice will allow you to change the trajectory of your future and end up in a place that you've never been. The reasons why most people and their shit does not convert is because they do not get their prospective clients into a decision-making process of yes or no. Ultimately, because they cannot paint and stand there in leadership and paint the picture of what will happen if they say no today. You want to think about it. I get it. What I'm starting to hear is that you're a little bit scared to make a commitment today. But this is the same pattern that you've always had up until now, which has ultimately led you to do nothing, and thinking about it has what costed you a lot. The reasons why you must think about it is because you're afraid to make the commitment today. The reasons why you're thinking about it is because you're searching for an easier option. Yet you and I both know that there is no easier option right now, which ultimately requires you to just simply rock up and do the work and do everything that I tell you to do. You still think that this is an easy way out, which is why you have to think about it. And I get that. But let me paint you this picture. You can think about it. But in a week, in a month, in a year, here's what I need to think about it's going to look like. However, if you choose to take this if you choose to have the courage and you choose to make this commitment today and you choose to actually get started, it is hard. It is not sexy. It is not instantly gratifying. This isn't some shit where you can just buy an iPhone and feel good about your purchase. This is about ultimately changing you today. But everything that you've done up until the past had led you here, and it hasn't worked. Because if it had worked, you wouldn't be here. And it's not going to continue to work. Yet here, I can show you what actually does work, but it requires you to have the courage to go. It requires you to have the commitment to go. But this is your choice. Regardless of what a decision you choose, I'll be okay. But what I want you to do is I want you to have the exact knowledge of what's going to happen because you failed to make a decision today, or the consequences of the decisions you made today. Problem number 4, inside of your conversion mechanism, you do not show them the red pill or the fucking blue pill. You speak to them, you tell them some really cool shit, you talk about the problem, you talk about the pain, you understand now how to unshackle them. You know now how to create clarity and movement and desire a better possibility for them, and you paint a path. You speak with certainty, but at the end of the day, you don't force them into now. And because you don't force them into now, they do not actually go, sweet, there is actually a chance for me to do this. You take the pressure off them. And as a result of you taking the pressure off them, what begins to happen? Well, they get to run. They get to get their instant hit of dopamine, feeling good that they learned some shit. And then ultimately they go, oh my God, I got that kick, I got that high that I was supposed to come for. I feel good again. I don't need to actually do anything. I don't need to do anything because I'm not in this pain that I presented with, because the kick helped me and it helped you get awareness. And most people mistaken awareness for what? For results. Awareness is not fucking results. You didn't come here for awareness. You're not listening to me for awareness. You're coming here for results. Yet inside of this particular place, there's a dopamine button inside of your brain that's going off, that's going, oh my God, I'm here for results and I'm getting results just listening. No, you're not. You're getting awareness. And so you need a lead. And you need to be able to lead and hold the frame and create that space to tell your prospective clients what they know. But you can't do this if you struggle with problem number 5. And inside of problem number 5 is why all of you will struggle. And we covered 4 problems. But the last problem here is this. You do not own with power and certainty that you are indeed selling them. You do not own with power and certainty that you are indeed selling them. And that by buying from you, your prospective clients' lives will be better because of you. I want to just sit here and just let that sink in for a second. I want you to write that shit down. Because a lot of you, when it comes to selling, when it comes to money, you're like, don't worry about the money, bro. I'm just happy with your results. Don't worry about the money. Yet when you take the money away, you take the commitment away. Because money is the easiest form of commitment somebody can make. People pay money all the fucking time, and yet their lives don't change. What creates commitment is desire, energy, time. A desire, energy, and time to change. Money is the commitment. Money is, dude, do you have what it takes? Because you're telling me you want to change, but I need to see some desire from you and commitment from you to change. And so when I speak to my prospective clients, there is nothing in my heart that is resistant about selling them. I am selling you. Right now, you need to be sold. The reasons why you need to be sold by me right now is because if you buy from somebody else, the same shit's going to happen. That's always happened, and nobody's going to hold you accountable. You're not even committed to holding yourself accountable, and I'm selling you. Here's why. Because I know that with me, your life is going to be better. I know that if you stay inside of my world, there is something inside of me that I can give to you that's going to open up, and you're going to take action every single day. It might not happen overnight, but there are moments in time that I can give you aha moments based around the environment we create, the training we create, the perspective that I get you to see that's going to better your life such that you avoid the fucking pitfall that you're about to fall in. And yes, I'm selling you. Why am I selling you? Because if I do not sell you on this, you will not actually take this commitment seriously. If I do not sell you on this, you will not take this commitment seriously, and you will say, Lynn, I'm committed to doing this. Lynn, I'm fucking committed to doing this. And if I do not sell you on this, you will not actually show up to do the fucking work. You will think that the dopamine hit that you got from all of this information is enough to get you to the possibility, yet inside of this place, it's the action every single fucking day. It's the repetitions that I'm forcing and requiring from you to go and overcoming your fears, your stories, your beliefs, to take action regardless of whatever the fuck happens. So inside of problem number 5, you must own with power and certainty that you are indeed selling them. There is no walking around the block. It is going to cost this much, and it is going to cost this much, and you are exactly right. I am going to sell you on this because you need this. Because without this, you're going to keep doing the dumb shit that you've always done. Without this, you haven't actually put down the commitment that you said you'll put down into to actually paying the attention that I need you to pay to this, in getting that attention to take the action that you need to take to get the results that you want inside of your life. At the end of the fucking day, here's what I can tell you. If you are not standing in power when it comes to selling somebody, you will never sell somebody. It doesn't come back down to attention. It doesn't come back down to conversion, delivering value. Most people can deliver value all fucking day long. But at the end of the day, it's a ruthless commitment to closing somebody because you're closing them on commitment. And you're going to be okay with closing them. And if you are not, then this is the reasons why clients are not coming to you. Because they smell bullshit. Because you tell them that, don't worry, I won't close you, I'm not here to sell you. But if you own the fact that you are actually here to sell them, and the reasons behind selling them is because of this, because if you don't sell them, here's what's going to happen. They will enter the red road. And the blue road will be a distant dream that they think about. Well, then it becomes kind of fucked because now you're just lying. And people can sniff out liars, especially in today's marketplace.